What's up, guys? The Snowman here, and today I want to give you my top 10 best forehands in men's tennis. And to start off my list, number 10, Marin Cilic, his forehand, along with his serve, two of his primary weapons. And he's got a stinging, a piercing forehand, hits it very flat, not much margin for error, doesn't clear the net by much, but he can pepper the ball on the forehand wing. Excellent grass court player because of the forehand, and at 6'6", so much power. Gets a lot of free points with that serve and forehand combination. Number 9, I'm going with the forehand of Nick Kyrgios, the eclectic Aussie. Goes for broke with the forehand, so much strength in his wrists. Takes huge cuts. I have him on this list over guys like Jack Sock, Karen Khachanov, simply because of the shot-making ability. So mercurial and erratic, can also be so magical and breathtaking. Just a flick of that wrist. He hit an insane 114-mile-per-hour forehand winner at the Rogers Cup in Canada in 2018. Anything can happen with Kyrgios' forehand. Number 8 on my list, Novak Djokovic, and maybe when you think about the Joker, you don't always think about the forehand first. You may think about his movement, the return, the backhand, the consistency, his stamina, endurance, whatever. That's all true. But forehand, it may be a weaker aspect to Djokovic's game, but it's still an incredible shot. In terms of the rest of the tour, mainly because he makes so few errors on the forehand wing. He's an excellent shot maker on the run, can hit some dazzling forehand passes that just make your jaw drop. Number 7 is the Brit Kyle Edmund, and it's such a meat and potatoes forehand. Can generate big-time power, dominates rallies with his forehand, his ability to hit winners from anywhere on the court. It's a monstrous and thundering forehand that offsets his somewhat suspect backhand. I think it can be a bit predictable at times, but it can also take the game completely out of his opponent's hands. It is a bludgeoning shot. The 6th best forehand, in my opinion, Denis Shapovalov, one of my favorite players, the young Canadian, extremely aggressive playing style. He will swing for the fences with his forehand, often has more winners and unforced errors on the forehand side than his opponents, but he's so effective with his forehand down the line, the inside-out shot. Incredible. The only problem with his forehand, sometimes lacks patience, doesn't win as many rallies over 8 shots, so that's where the forehand errors can creep up. He wants to stay aggressive though, can hit through any conditions, so it's very tough to defend against. Number 5 on my list, Dominic Thiem, and the Austrian is consistently near the top of the charts in terms of average topspin forehand speed. Typically he hovers around the low 80s. One of the top baseliners in the game today, controls rallies from the back of the court, and he's got such a heavy forehand, hits a really penetrating ball, constructs the points beautifully from the back of the court, and although many people rightfully praise his gorgeous one-handed backhand, I think his forehand, with all the spin and power, it's just as menacing. Number 4, I'm going with Fernando Verdasco, and the lefty Spaniard possesses a legit fear hand, as the great Brad Gilbert would say. Pretty similar to Fed and Nadal, can put a ton of topspin on the ball like Rafa, can absolutely smoke his forehand. I don't have him up higher on this list because it can be a little bit inconsistent. Verdasco has had problems with nerves throughout his career, but when he's in the zone, he's gripping and ripping his forehand, one of the most daunting on the tour. Number 3 for me, Rafael Nadal, and if this was just a clay court ranking, he would be number 1 on the list. What he's been able to do with his forehand throughout the years, the RPMs he generates, over 4,000 consistently, so that means the ball is spinning so fast, it bounces so high, especially on clay, so hard to just have a feel for it. It's like trying to swat a fly with a baseball bat. He can move you anywhere on the court with his forehand, dictates positioning like no other players in the history of the game. It's as dynamic a shot as there ever has been. Now to number 2, the GOAT, Roger Federer, and in contrast to Nadal, Fed's forehand is silky smooth, extreme precision, so accurate both inside out or down the line, and as he's gotten older, he's been even better with the 1-2 tennis, quick points with his serve and then getting short balls and burying them away with his effective forehand, able to preserve his body that way. Such a well-rounded stroke, power, finesse, squash shot defense, drop shot, forehand volley. Fed can certainly do it all with his forehand. Now you may be wondering who I have number 1 on my list, with Fed and Nadal both already gone. I have the Argentine Juan Martín del Potro. He's got the ultimate power. It's his favorite shot, and for me, like when Delpo is stretched out on the run and he just cracks the whip on that running stretch forehand, it is a sight to behold. He's had multiple wrist surgeries over the years that have really hindered his backhand, but that's made his forehand even stronger. It's intimidating, it's piercing, and it's the Tower of Tandil's signature stroke. Please let me know what you agree with, disagree with on my list of top 10 forehands. Leave a comment. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the Snowman Sports Media. Give me a thumbs up, and I'll be back very soon. Thanks for watching. Cheers.